Hey there guys, and welcome to this episode of Gearist TV. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the Roo by Kammok. Here at Gearist, we really like to think outside the box, especially when it comes to different scenarios. In essence of that, the reason that we're taking a look at the Roo is because we wanted to let everybody know that camping in just a traditional tent or lean-to or bivvy or something like that isn't necessarily what's always the best case. Sometimes just something as simple as a camping hammock can be what gets you out of a pinch or lets you take along a lightweight alternative to a tent on a longer trip. Now, first off, the Roo arrives in this 100% polyester 70 denier stuff sack. Now, what's great about this is that it's water resistant on the outside with a nice DWR finish. This is actually not just simply a stuff sack, it's actually kind of a dual layer thing. Now, the first layer that you can see here is that DWR finish, the ripstop on the outside there. It's secured on each side with these YKK buckles, super lightweight buckles. And what's great about it is that once the roll top is down, which I'll show in a second, you can also further cinch it down on the sides with these straps right here to make it even more compact. Now, I'll show you the dual layer construction. First, you would undo these buckles on each side here, and you can see the roll top, which is about 5 inches taller than the main sack itself. You can look kind of down inside there and see that there's that dual layer setup. Now, the way that I like to do this is to roll back the roll down top, or the lockdown top, and it allows you better access to the drawstring cinched inner sack, which is made out of the same material that the hammock is made out of, which is Kammok's Lunar Wave material. You simply undo the drawstring, open it up, and out comes your hammock. There we go. Super simple. Like that. Now, this being a gathered end hammock, which basically means that, as you can see here, there's a channel at each end of the hammock where a length of high density, high tech cord runs through there to keep it nice and secure. This is going to then attach to a wire gated carabiner. Now, in this case, this is Kammok's Kanga Claw carabiner, which you can see here is protected by that wire gate, which what this does is that should the carabiner start being pulled against with the strapping, this is going to keep the strapping in place and keep it from pulling out. Now, looking down the side of the hammock, the perimeter here, you can see this series of little attachment loops. These are great for different tie-out situations or just hanging gear there. If you have something you want to clip and hang there so you have easy access to it, that's a really nice place to put that. Now for the hammock itself, it's made out of Kammok's diamond weave ripstop called Lunar Wave. The hammock is made out of 3 effective pieces of that, which you can see here, this center kind of orangish red piece, and then on each side this gray piece. Now this acts as kind of a sidewall, and then this is clearly the main laying area, if you will. Around the perimeter of each of these pieces, as well as where they attach to one another, this is sewn with Kammok's lay flat triple stitched seam, making it super soft to the skin. I have to admit that being in this, and I've slept in this for long periods of time, longer than I should have, it's very comfortable and you don't really notice anything poking at you. Now, there are 2 sides to the seam, as you can see. I don't know if you can see it up close, but there is clearly an inside and an outside to it. So making sure that you have the right size is key to making sure the comfort is optimized on this piece. As we begin to talk about the actual setup of the Roo, what we're going to do is we're kind of going to insert a mini review here of Kammok's Python straps. These are the straps that make setting this thing up very easy. Now, each of these, which come in their own, again, DWR finished stuff sack here, is about 10 feet long. It is 10 feet long, and each has a daisy chain series of loops. I'll kind of drop one down there. Daisy chain series of loops along its entire length that make for multiple attachment points. And not only that, they make for multiple hanging points should you need them. These are super strong, and the stitching or the cut throughs here, which you can't really tell in this light because it's, well, light out, they're reflective, which are going to make them able to be seen in low light and prevent kind of getting clotheslined on your own hammock. Now for the setup, I'm going to show you right here on this tree behind me, and we will be filming it with the GoPro as well, so keep an eye out for that. The first thing you want to do is you want to find trees that are an appropriate distance apart, probably about 12 to 15 feet. They don't have to be trees, they could be posts, or in fact they could be like a tree and an outcropping of rock, or something that's going to be able to hold on to the end. What's great about this and being 10 feet long is that there's plenty of length to be able to work with on these. Now the attachment point that I'm going to be working with is this branch right here, and there's also a tree over there. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take one end of this and wrap it around the branch. Now at each end of the python strap, there is a loop at both ends. You can see there. What I'm going to do is wrap this one through there and pull it taut. That's it. That's one setup. Now the second attachment point I've chosen is this guy right here. Nice and sturdy, plenty of girth, and it's attached to a nice live tree. So again, I'm going to wrap that around there. Find the other end. And done. Now we're going to attach the actual hammock to it with these, again, just snapback carabiners with the wire cage on it. What we're going to do is we're going to come up here, find whichever loop I think is appropriate. Now, because these are so long, we've got plenty of play, so I'm just going to attach it there for now. We'll attach it over there to that one and see which of these makes the most sense. As you can see here, I've got plenty of length to play with, and I think I'm going to attach this guy right about there. This is going to give me a good angle of sag, if you will, in the hammock itself when I lay down in it, and it's going to be plenty comfortable for me to lay in. Now, as you can see with the current setup, it's at a nice angle, good amount of distance off the ground. The one downside is that I have that little bush under my butt, but that's okay. We can work with that. And here's the attached stuff sack. Now, a great added bonus of the attached stuff sack is that it can hold your water bottle and have it so it's right there beside you, or your frosty adult beverage should you choose that. Now I'm going to go ahead and get in and hopefully not fall all over the ground. Now, as you've seen so far, the setup of this entire thing, both the python straps and the hammock itself, takes easily less than 5 minutes, no problem at all. Now, like a lot of gathered end hammocks, like the Roo, sometimes what can happen is this slight mummy effect, mummy bag effect, if you will. And I'll kind of try to demonstrate. Now, if you lay right in the center, you can see that sometimes the sides can come up around you like this. Now for me, this is not a huge deal. In fact, when it gets cooler outside, I've had this down to about 50 degrees so far, that actually acts as a great way to keep a little more insulation in without having to use something like an underquilt or a sleeping bag inside that's super, super warm. And there's so much room in the Roo that it allows you to really kind of find that right diagonal spot, however you might want to lay. And the fabric actually seems to have a little bit of give, and that may be largely credited to the diamond weave of the fabric. I should also mention that I tend to be someone who's got fairly broad shoulders, and never once have I felt that kind of pinched feeling that some people feel in gathered end hammocks like this. Now the takedown of the Roo, or the disassembly of the Roo and the python straps, again, takes less than 5 minutes. Once you've gotten the hang of kind of the double-walled construction of the stuff sack, getting it down in there, getting everything cinched down nice and tight is a really, really simple task. Also, with this whole entire setup, you've got 24 ounces for the Roo itself, which includes the straps on the end and the carabiners, and then you've got an additional 12 ounces for the python straps. That's a total of only 3 pounds, not even, 36 ounces, less than 3 pounds. So you can go out, pack this in your pack, and not have to worry about a bulky tent. This is a great alternative to that. And when you pair it with the glider, which is also by Kammok, a review for which will be coming up very soon, when you combine it with the glider, you've got a really great all-weather alternative to just a normal tent. As for pricing, both pieces also come in at a really affordable price, with the Roo coming in at $99 and the python straps at $29. If you're looking for a lightweight alternative to camping with a tent, and you want something just for hanging out and kicking around in your backyard that your kids will definitely want to steal from you, check out the Roo wherever you can. Now, I'm going to take a nap.